Recently, I've been sharing with you a few equal parts coffee cocktail recipes, including the Coffee House Punch and the Black and White Negroni. I absolutely love the simplicity of this approach, and it got me thinking about more equal parts coffee cocktail recipes that I could share with you on the channel. And this one today is called a word upper. Let's do this. So the word upper is a riff on a classic cocktail called a last word, incorporating coffee and caffeine to make it a little bit more stimulating and bring a delicious flavour to the mix as well. So the last word was created in around about 1915, although it could have been a little bit earlier. As with many cocktails, the back history can be a little bit varied, but this drink pretty much seemed to drop from popularity for quite a few decades before re-emerging in around about 2005 in Seattle, before becoming another kind of global phenomenon which loads of bartenders love to drink. But a lot of people would love this drink, particularly people who love the kind of herbal character of chartreuse. So despite being a very simple drink to put together, equal parts gin, green chartreuse, maraschino and lime, the last word has loads going on, lots of big flavours, but they all come together really well and kind of balance each other out really nicely. And the addition of coffee, I think, works so well here. It brings a little bit of welcome bitterness, a little bit of kind of roasty character, and using a slightly darker roast coffee here works really well to balance out those herbal notes from the chartreuse. Taking inspiration from the last word for our word upper, we're going to need gin, some kind of chartreuse, I'm going with yellow chartreuse, some kind of cherry liqueur, I'm going with Monin cherry brandy, freshly squeezed lime juice and coffee saccharum liqueur. And this is actually an equal parts recipe. So I'll talk more about each ingredient as I add it, starting with 25 ml of gin. And with this, you want to make sure you don't use anything too delicate, too light, because these are really big flavours in the drink, and any kind of subtle gins would be really lost in the mix. So plenty of body, plenty of intensity really needs to be in the gin. So next up, I'm going to go in with 25 ml of yellow chartreuse. This is what I have. I don't have any green chartreuse at the moment. It's really difficult to get hold of at the moment, as a lot of you will be aware. Yellow chartreuse is a little bit milder, a little bit less intense, but it still has that nice kind of herbal character, has a really nice bitter sweet note, which complements the other ingredients really nicely. But if you have green, go for it. It's closer to the last word. It should work really well. Slightly higher intensity. And even if you can't get hold of any chartreuse, still give this drink a go without it. It's a very different drink, but it's still a really delicious equal parts coffee cocktail, just a slightly different character. Now we're going to go with 25 ml of cherry brandy. So traditionally this would be a maraschino, but you want loads of that kind of cherry character coming through, which the Monin cherry brandy has. You could use different cherry brandies. You could use cherry hearing. Again, this is a template which you can experiment with, but you want plenty of cherry flavour in there because it's delicious. And then to balance the two liqueurs, we're going 25 ml of freshly squeezed lime juice, which brings that acidity and those nice zip and zing characteristics to the drink. So this is close to our last word. And now finally, we're going to go 25 ml of coffee saccharum liqueur. And this changes things massively. You get depth of flavour, you get that really nice deep round coffee characteristic. And when you think about these ingredients, they're pretty much sweet, sour, bitter, whereas coffee has those roasty notes, it has that complexity, and everyone loves this flavour. As I said, use something chocolatey and nutty because you want the big, intense coffee flavours to stand up against these big ingredients. Anything too delicate and floral will probably be completely lost. So when you're making your coffee saccharum liqueur, just bear that in mind with the coffee you choose. And coffee saccharum liqueur is a zero waste coffee liqueur made from spent espresso pucks or spent filter grounds, and I'll link how to make this at the end of the video. As always, if you don't have coffee saccharum liqueur, you can always experiment with your own favourite coffee liqueur. Give this a good shake over lots of ice. Fine strain into a frozen glass. And then we'll garnish with a cherry. And there we have the word upper. So, word up everybody. I love this drink. I love a last word in the first place, and I think coffee just brings something completely different to the drink. Actually, the yellow chartreuse is really nice. You've got enough herbal character without it being very dominant, which I think in a last word it can be. Delicious, but dominant, not a problem. You get loads of the cherry character coming through, but the coffee just underpins it, becomes like a liqueur cherry almost. Like a liqueur cherry chocolate, I mean. And gin comes through, everything's there, but it's just all tying together really nicely. Unbelievable levels of flavour in here, all of which are kind of big flavours, but that is a very well balanced drink and it's so delicious. I could so easily drink this whole drink in about 1 second flat, but I probably shouldn't because I've got to make one more video today, so stay responsible. But I'll link more equal parts recipes like this for you just here. And if you want to learn how to make coffee saccharum liqueur, I'll put the video just here. So I'm not going to drink this whole thing, although I do want to. We'll have a little bit more there. And if you've enjoyed this, you can subscribe to the channel by clicking just here. So I'll see you in the next video. Cheers everybody.